This is Kamala Harris. On August 11th, Joe Biden selected her as his Democratic vice presidential nominee. She makes history as the first Black woman and Indian woman to be on a major party presidential ticket.
Kamala Harris has an incredible background politically for California, and then also in Congress as well.
Despite being criticized during her presidential campaign for her changing positions and for being tough on crime, Biden saw an immediate polling boost after choosing her, bringing his favorability to the highest it had been in select polls since he became the Democratic presumptive nominee in June.
One of the big demographics, especially in 2016 and now in this one, is going to be like middle-class women. And I know Trump recently has been trying to make a strong pull for suburban middle-class women as well. Selecting a woman and looking at Kamala Harris as well, kind of fitting some of those demographics definitely helps garner additional votes. But again, I don't want to try to minimize the strength of her candidacy.
While Kamala doesn't necessarily bring in new voting demographics in large numbers, she strengthens a lot of Biden's existing ones.
I think Kamala was a safe pick. Even the more radical left or the more progressive left within the Democratic Party recognize the necessity of this election to swing moderate voters.
In an election where 25% of potential voters said Biden's VP choice could significantly affect how they vote, maybe the safe choice was the right choice. But Biden's choice was slightly irregular in the sense that it didn't target any specific state, as California's electorates are already expected to go to Biden.
Even though Kamala Harris doesn't help Biden directly flip any state, which some might say is a poor decision on Biden's part, it's clear that diversity representation has a place in voting in 2020.
It's really rare for me to see someone who's almost like me rising up to as high of a level. And I feel like just seeing her being able to do that has resonated with a lot of more minority groups, and like women, Indian Americans, also like African Americans or Black Americans.
We tend to be a little bit more cynical, and we look at these things and it's like, well, sure, I might think a woman president should be president or could be president, but if I don't think they're gonna win, then kind of what's the lesser of two evils type deal, and it makes things tough.
Conservative people who might have shifted their mindset to vote for Biden. I know I've read a lot of articles about how some people are now reconsidering that just because he chose a woman.
One of the main reasons Hillary Clinton didn't win in 2016 was because of her gender. So if people are saying that the vice presidential nomination might sway their decision one way or another, I would not be surprised in the least if gender played a large part into that.
Rather than appealing to demographics like young people, Biden opted to strengthen his already existing hold over liberal minority voters.
Like, I know as soon as like a lot of my relatives like actually found out that she was Indian, I could see like an automatic shift in their attitude towards her. I feel like they almost felt a sort of connection with her because they could finally even somewhat relate to a woman and someone who could be a potential leader for our country.